Betsy's world was changed forever after she suffered a devastating stroke following consensual strangulation during an intimate moment with Dylan Wilson. The medical emergency left her living with aphasia and dysarthria, making it difficult for her to speak clearly and affecting her mobility. Determined to stand by her friend, Lauren believes Dylan should face legal consequences for what happened. However, Betsy refuses to blame him and has made it clear she does not want the matter taken to the police. The disagreement has created growing tension between the two friends. Lauren remains convinced Dylan should be reported, while Betsy insists the incident was a tragic accident and feels he has already suffered enough. In recent episodes, Lauren once again urged Betsy to speak to the police about Dylan's role in the incident, but Betsy became upset, ordered her to leave, and refused to continue the conversation. Speaking about the storyline, Sydney Martin explained that she doesn't see either character as the villain. She said the pair were simply two young adults experimenting with something they believed was harmless, without fully understanding the serious risks involved. Martin also pointed out that many teenagers have grown up with unrestricted access to online pornography, where intimate relationships are often portrayed in unrealistic and dangerous ways, making it easier for young people to develop unhealthy ideas about sex. She added that because of this, she has sympathy for both Betsy and Dylan, as neither intended for such devastating consequences to occur. In scenes airing next week, Betsy opens up to Ryan Connor, admitting she wants to see Dylan again, but worries that her mother will strongly object. Lisa Connor Swain is not the only person determined to keep the pair apart. Lauren is furious after Ryan reveals that Dylan recently visited Betsy. Convinced Dylan must answer for what happened, Lauren vents her frustration to Brody Michaelis and argues that he cannot escape responsibility. Brody later confronts Dylan, and the situation quickly escalates into a heated argument between the two young men. As the week continues, another emotional clash erupts between Lauren and Betsy, prompting Lauren to storm out and leave Betsy by herself. When Lauren eventually returns, she discovers Carla comforting an emotional Betsy after she was unable to reach the bathroom in time because of the lasting effects of her stroke. Carla is furious with Lauren, accusing her of abandoning Betsy when she needed support the most. The following day, Betsy struggles emotionally and refuses to leave the house, despite Lisa encouraging her to get outside for some fresh air. Realizing the damage she has caused, Lauren visits Betsy determined to make things right, and sincerely apologizes for walking away during their argument. Will Betsy forgive Lauren and rebuild their friendship, or has the fallout pushed their relationship beyond repair? Cassie Plummer's life falls apart in Coronation Street as Ross Wilkes successfully carries out a cruel plan for revenge. Cassie has been deeply unsettled ever since Ross, Tyrone Dobbs' biological father, unexpectedly arrived in Weatherfield. For weeks, she kept the truth about her history with Ross to herself, unwilling to reveal the painful secret. Eventually, watching her family welcome him into their lives became too much, and she finally spoke out. Cassie confessed to Tyrone that Ross forced himself on her when she was just 15 years old, leaving her pregnant. Horrified by what he had heard, Tyrone immediately confronted Ross. However, Ross convinced Tyrone that he had changed over the years and expressed regret for his past actions. Believing his father's promises, Tyrone and the rest of the family decided to give Ross another opportunity, leaving Cassie to hide her true feelings. Later, when they were alone together, Ross showed his true colors by trapping Cassie against a wall and threatening to kill her if she tried to come between him and Tyrone again. Desperate to protect herself and expose Ross, Cassie came up with a risky plan to destroy the fresh start he was trying to build. She secretly took some of Tyrone's prescription painkillers and slipped them into Ross's drink, hoping he would fail the mandatory drugs test required for his new job. Unfortunately, Ross realized exactly what she was attempting before taking a sip. Instead of drinking it himself, he cleverly manipulated events and tricked Tracy Barlow into consuming the contaminated drink. Tracy soon became seriously unwell and was rushed to hospital, where it emerged that medication had been secretly mixed into her drink. Back at home, Steve McDonald was heartbroken after discovering a packet of pills hidden inside Cassie's jacket. Since Tracy had already accused Cassie of poisoning her drink, something made more believable because of Cassie's troubled past, Steve found it difficult to ignore the evidence. Although Cassie insisted Ross had deliberately framed her, neither Steve nor Tyrone believed her version of events. Fed up with what they saw as excuses, Steve slammed the door in Cassie's face, leaving her isolated with nobody left to support her. With her departure from Weatherfield drawing ever closer, Cassie appears to have lost the trust of everyone she loves. Now that her family has turned against her, could leaving the street be her only remaining option? Debbie Webster faces an emotional wake-up call in Coronation Street next week after meeting another woman whose dementia has reached a much more advanced stage. The storyline shines a light on the harsh realities of living with late-stage dementia as Debbie unexpectedly encounters a confused woman named Sadie searching desperately for her daughter. Debbie quickly recognizes that Sadie is showing severe signs of dementia, with her illness having progressed far beyond her own condition. The encounter becomes even more upsetting when Sadie suddenly lashes out, leaving Debbie shaken as she imagines what her own future could look like if her illness continues to worsen. According to a Weatherfield insider, the experience is devastating because Debbie is no longer simply imagining what lies ahead. She is witnessing it unfold in front of her eyes. The source explained that seeing Sadie's distress also forces Debbie to think about the emotional burden her own family may one day face while caring for her, making the entire situation deeply unsettling. It is soon revealed that Sadie is actually the mother of Sienna, who viewers recently met through her growing relationship with Asha Alahan. When Sienna rushes over to comfort her mum, the heartbreaking situation becomes even worse as Sadie fails to recognize her daughter and reacts aggressively instead. Watching this unfold leaves Debbie terrified that she could eventually forget Ronnie and the people she loves most. Although the moment is painful, Sienna has experienced similar situations before and understands the difficult realities of her mother's condition. Later, Sienna opens up to Asha about the possibility of moving Sadie into professional care, unaware that Ronnie overhears the conversation. Hearing them discuss care homes forces Ronnie to confront the possibility that he may eventually have to make the same decision for Debbie. An insider revealed that Sienna's heartbreak over her mother's future serves as a painful reminder of what Ronnie's own journey could become. The source added that Ronnie knows Debbie's illness is steadily progressing and admits to James that even their recent holiday was filled with unexpected difficulties caused by her condition. Realizing that Debbie's needs will only increase over time, Ronnie understands he must begin planning for her long-term care and safety, despite how emotionally difficult that decision will be. As Debbie and Ronnie continue having honest conversations about the future, Asha remains by Sienna's side to support her through her mother's worsening illness. Later, Ronnie overhears Asha recalling how distressed Sadie became while visiting a care home, leaving him filled with fear as he wonders whether he and Debbie will one day face the same heartbreaking situation.